The following program is intended for mature audiences.
Hello. Hey, everybody. How's it going? So I was going to have a video uploaded here for this Monday of my Prepar3d flight from San Francisco up to Reno. But there were some issues with the video and the whole thing took a crap. It was supposed to be San Fran to Reno and then from Reno to Sacramento. Ran into some issues, but the whole video it was just garbage. So I didn't want to throw up a poor quality video. So I figured today what we're going to do is, let me minimize this. I'm going to kind of show you how I do a flight through the planning and everything, and then conduct the flight. So we're going to fly from Reno to San Francisco. Basically, we're doing the Labor Day flight in honor of closing out Burning Man. So we'll be taking some VIP hippies here. I mean, I have no other way to call them. Because I ran into a bunch of people from Burning Man, and it was a special crowd that I kind of came across. Not saying everybody out there was that way, but the few I did, I think they were so far baked on drugs they didn't know where they were really. But anyways, we'll get off that subject. So we're going to be doing a flight from Reno to San Francisco, taking a couple of our VIPs. We'll have a load of 6 people we'll be taken back. But let me show you how I do my flight planning and stuff. So first thing we do is I now actually have a weather software. I got Active Sky for Prepar3d. And so I'm going to give you an idea of what I do to figure out what runways we need to take off from, and then how I plan out my route. So right now, this is kind of what the current weather we're looking at from reading out just some of the favorite places I have. I have San Francisco, Sacramento, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Phoenix, and Reno, because these are a lot of airports that I do like to fly in and out of. So we're flying out of Reno. This is the current time, Zulu time, which is UTC, which is what London would go by in England. So we're looking at, okay, well, how do we know what runway we need to land on or take off from? Rule of thumb is you're always trying to take off or land into the wind versus have a crosswind or a tailwind. So looking at Reno, we have winds coming out of 340, which is basically due north at 4 knots. So with that there, we would be taking off of the runways. What's the other half? 16. So you got 16s. We'd be taking off on the 32s, flying up to into the wind. But giving it's 4 knots, it's not that bad. We could technically take off on the 16s. But again, the rule of thumb is to take into account flying into the wind to take off. No gusts. If there was a gust, there would be a G with a number after it, so we're okay. Visibility is 10 miles. We have some clouds at, looks like 7,000 feet. A few clouds at 10,000 feet. Temperature is not bad. I mean, can't complain on temperature. Altimeter is 299 or 5. Otherwise, I mean, we're looking okay. So we know we're going to be taking off on the 34s, or not 34s, the 32s. San Francisco, we've got winds coming at 290 at 290 degrees, which is pretty much due west, just about due west. 280 degrees would be due west at 20 knots. So obviously, we definitely want to land into the wind on that. So that would set us up for the 28s, runway 28 left, runway 28 right. I usually prefer runway 28 right, so this works out pretty good. Visibility is good, 10 miles or more. Few clouds at 800 feet. Nothing major going on out there. Altimeter's at 29 or 80. Basically, the altimeter is your barometric pressure, and once you reach over 19,000 feet, you go to a standard pressure, which is 29 or 9 or 2. And then otherwise, you'll want to set your altimeter to your airport once you get closer, so your altitude reports correctly especially when you're coming in and landing on a large bird. Small bird, not too bad, but you want to make sure you have, obviously, everything reporting correctly. So anyways, So we know we're going to be taking off in the 32s out of Reno, and we're going to be coming in on the 28th in San Francisco. I'm going to minimize this because I do not have prepared running right now, but we will be using this program. So I use a website here called AirNav. So you can look up pretty much anything on this here. So let's bring up an airport. We'll bring up Reno. KRNO, Reno. Or you could type in the name Reno. So this kind of gives us information about the airport location, what, center it's part of. You got like LA Center, Sacramento Center, Oakland, or not Sacramento Center, Oakland Center, things like that. So it gives you a rundown, runways, 32s, 34s. Okay. I don't know why I was thinking 32. Well, 32 is the exact double of it. Never mind. So we're going to be taking off about 34s. So what we have here is for departures, arrivals, things like that, we have stars, which is your standard terminal arrival. So think of when you're flying somewhere, you're on the freeway, like driving somewhere, you're on a freeway, you're on a highway, and a star, your arrival is like an off-ramp to, you need to get off to the surface streets to go to where you need to go. So think of a star as being that. SIDs are departure procedures, standard instrument departures. Those think of as being your on-ramp to getting onto that freeway or highway. So you can just go for that long haul to wherever you're going. Let me take a couple of peeksies out here, because I was originally planning on taking off to the south on the Zephyr 6, which you can see over here. But this is favoring going to the south. Like I said, the winds isn't bad. I could take off on the 16s, but I did leave Reno about 4 hours ago, and all the planes were taking off up to the north and then heading out. So I do want to maintain real world procedures. So what else do we have going out? Just go through them here because I'm used to taking off on the 16s. Yeah, so Hungary isn't going to work. What do we got here? Mustang 8. These are back courses. Nope, because we're taking off on the 16 again. We might actually be able to pull this one on. Prepar3d departure. Let's take a look at this one. Let me move it over here to this screen. So Zephyr 6, this is usually something I take off out and I hit down to the Merlet and then go to wherever I need to go. So Zephyr 6 is definitely out of the question today. So I find my departure, and then I do the same with arrivals for, so in this case I would go San Francisco. Of course, these are more for references. These are not for real world navigations because you need to buy actual manuals and get things that are up to date at this point. Even though here you can see the cycle date is up to date, these are not deemed for real world navigations by any means. You're required to actually buy or purchase the actual charts to ensure that you're getting the latest and greatest. So we have our arrival procedures here. The arrival that I'm planning on using is RISD 1, and I still think we're going to be okay on that, but we will confirm it. So what I use is a website called SkyVector. So this was me originally just messing around. So as we look at this here, I can show you these are your high routes, which usually if you're flying at a higher altitude, say above 19,000 feet, is a safe assumption. They're called jet routes. So if you were putting in, well, I'm going from point A to point B, rather than listing every little point that this jet route would cover, say jet route 84, you just put down, say, Oakland, KO or OAK, J84 to wherever you may be coming up or making a change at. So assuming jet route 84, say we're going up over here. Well, that's Mina. To Mina, and then you're changing off on another route, say jet route 56, so it'd be OAK J84 to Mina MVA, then J56 on to wherever it's going from there. So you can see jet route 84 is crossing from Oakland to Linden, to Melts, to Sunny, to Babbitt, to Mina. So you don't have to list every little thing down when you're turning those into air traffic for your flight plan when you file your flight plan. So right now we just have boom. If we were just to fly a straight shot, which we're not flying with anybody online, we could technically do this. We are looking at 167 nautical miles, 23 minutes, roughly. So I have departing airport, arriving airport. I'm not putting times in because I'm not overly worried about that because we're not flying with other people online on that sim. Speed, roughly 380 knots is what I'm looking at. Altitude, we're going to be flying 22,000 feet, so flight level 220. The way flight levels break out, you're flying from 0 degrees, which is due north, to 179 degrees, which is basically due south, but 180 is due south. Every route that flies that direction is odd number altitude. So, 11,000, 13,000, 23, 25, 27,000 feet. And then anything from 180 to 359 degrees is even, so 22, 24, 26,000. So the easiest way to think of it is you're going north or east, northeast odd, southwest even. Usually is your easiest way to remember that. So obviously we're going towards the west, kind of to the south, but regardless, it is in between the 180 and 359. So we're flying even at 22,000 feet. And that's a short flight, so that's a pretty high stretch. I think we're just going to be up and down pretty fast. So let's kind of figure out what we got planned here. So I am looking at the Pineville 3 departure. So we can click on the routes here and see what people may have filed before. And actually, we do have one here going up the legs and a Bodega 2 arrival. So we might even change our departure from Risty to the Bodega 2 arrival. So I can actually click on this and it'll load up the entire route. Of course, it changes my distance from 167 nautical miles to basically 217. Time of flight's a little bit longer. But you can see we're taking off and running up direct to legs and then coming all the way down. So this most likely is going to be the route we'll wind up taking. I'm just trying to see because I would rather connect down here. Where was it? Sorry, let me bring up Risty up at Trip, which Trip is. Holy hell, I lost Trip. Normally it's just easier to see, but Trip's like right up over here somewhere outside of Merlet and then coming in from the south. That's my preferred route, and I wonder if we can actually still do that. Let's change this from Bodega, and we'll take a look at Risty 1. All right, STI. Actually, we got to come in with, I don't know why I keep calling it Trip. It's Tippery. Free and Risty. All right, STI1 tab. So there we go. That's filled in. Here's Trip. So technically, we can go up, put in Squaw Valley as our connect. Squaw Valley. And then direct to Trip. That might be a better route than I'm thinking. So let's try what this does. So Squaw Valley is SWR. Then a comma, space, tab. Nope. So let's just have it. This website isn't like the absolute best, but it does work for what we need it for. So Squaw Valley, and then we'll put in PIRE, PIPRE, and then RISTI1. Shit, why is it not taking? Did I put in it? PIPRE space RISTI1. There we go. Okay, so that'll be our route. So we're gonna come up to the north. After we clear our route, we're not doing Bodega. We hit Creds. After we hit Creds, we're going to be shooting down to Squaw Valley. From Squaw Valley to Tippery, and proceeding on the arrival route. So technically this would be our freeway from up here to here, but technically there's no freeway. We're just flying direct because it's such a short flight. So we got trip to Owen, God, that's a new one. Mobdi, Risti, CDs, and then straight on in. And so we're coming in on the ILS 28 right. I already have it set after CD. We're going to hit Archie and then connect all the way up to the ILS to the localizer, and then ride the glide slope all the way into 28 right. So as you can see on the ILS chart, we want to be hitting C-pin, which is right here, where my mouse is kind of moving at 3,000 feet. But we got to cross Archie at 8,000, and so we're bleeding off at about 14 miles, about 5,000 feet. Not difficult to do, but it to a degree will feel like a chop and drop. But if you're flying with air traffic, they'll probably guide you down a little lower as you're flying. But since I'm not dealing with air traffic, this is what we got. So here's our basically planned route. We're going out the Peavine 3, Freds, to Squaw Valley, direct to trip on the Risti 1 arrival. So you can see it right there, 204 nautical miles, and we're looking at about 37 minutes. Not a bad little run. I mean, going from Reno to San Francisco in 37 minutes versus driving that, yeah, I'll take that any day of the week. So yeah, this is the website I use, and that's just kind of how I use the charts to put everything together. And then what I do is I download them to my iPad, save them into folders on Acro Reader on the iPad, and that way there I can just quickly find them as I need them, which I will be using when we get closer to landing. So let me go ahead and pause here, and I'm going to get the simulator loaded up, and then we'll start going through the pre-flights, getting everything brought online, putting in our route, firing her up, our plane up, and then taking off. Aircraft we'll be using is the Carenado Premier 1A. I will be getting the PMDG 737, which is I think that one's coming with the 8 and 900 the 8 and 900 series, the next gen series, and then getting the add-on for the 6 and 700 series as well. But that'll be a little later down the road, and be definitely pretty awesome videos once we get those in. But sit back, and I'll be right back, and we'll get this taken off here. Okay, now we're back. Yeah, so OBS was being a pain in the ass and forced me to update that I did not want to, but it forced me to do it. But anyways, we should be okay. I had to make sure all the settings were good, and then Track IR decided to be a pain in the ass. I do have Track IR, I just have it paused right now, so I can just cycle through with my hat here on my control yoke to look about the aircraft. So we can take a quick look on the outside. I have external power connected. We are in a cold, dark cockpit. I'm not worried about opening up the door. We'll assume our passengers are now in the aircraft. But it is a beautiful aircraft. It flies nicely. Just a few bugs on it. I will be doing a review of the aircraft here sometime in the next week. And I'll have that posted up on YouTube. But otherwise, a beautiful aircraft. And well built. Just a few things I wishing was on it that are not. But you know, I can't complain. It's well built. So these flying tips are starting to irritate me. I've turned them all off. So let's bust out the old checklist. So we can make this go away. We got static source set to normal. Check. Defrost is required. It's not cold. Cockpit air is desired. It's fine. Alternate gear release handle. Skid protection off or normal. So boink. We'll put it up to normal. And I'm sorry, that's anti-skid. It should be on normal. Ice protection's off or normal depending we need it, which we do not. Landing gear is down. Battery is off. Generators are off. Avionics are off. Boost pumps should be set to auto. Fuel transfer should be off. Bleed air should be off. Blowers should be set to low, which they are. Temperature control as desired. We'll set them for 10 degrees Celsius. And this needs to go away and stop telling me what to do. Pilot audio panel, basically everything is set. Everything that it calls for is already set as is by default. So normal across the board. Press flight guidance panel, APU, yaw damper disconnect switch is this. It is off. Not it was like this. This would be disconnected, but this is off, which is what we want. Pressurization, or I'm sorry, closed, not off. Pressurization should be set to auto. Copilot's audio panel, we don't need to do anything with that. Thrust lever, we got to make sure it's free. So right now they're in a lock position. We will unlock them. Check them with my throttle lever. They are fine. So let's put them back in the lock position. Pull this up out of the way. So ignitions should be set to arm, which is here. One up on each is arm. All right, let me throw the first page of the checklist out of the way. ECUs should be set to on. Engine sync should be off. Speed brake is retracted. Lift dump. What we'll do is we unlock it, verify that it's free, which it is, and then relock it. So we are good there. Rudder boost, which is here, should be up on normal. Rudder trim should be on normal. Rudder trim roll trim should be on normal. Flaps should be up, which is right here, and they are up. Lighting switches, so as we look up, everything should be off across the board, which they are. Master test, so basically this is your master test. Of course it's off right now because we have no power going, so we can't run through any of the tests. Battery, now we can turn on. So here's our battery. We move up to on. Currently we show 28 volts, but that's also because we are running on external power, which we will roll over to. And this is rolling up to 28 volts. What do we got left here? So battery is on. Fuel transfer should be off. Now we got to shut off valves, which are these right down here. These should be all in checked or off, which are fine. What else do we got? Just make sure I got all these anti-engine IFAs off. Reconfirm these are all up on normal, which they are. But we have to now set pitch trim, which was not in the previous, up to normal. We are within the green for our nose trim for takeoff, which is perfect. And we are pretty much set. We should turn the battery off, but as we're now moving on to the start procedures, there's no point in doing it. Passenger briefing means sit down, shut up. If you don't like it, piss off. So what we're going to do now, we got battery on, external power, nav lights is required. So basically we're turning on the beacons, set the no smoking and seatbelt signs, and turn on the galley for now. So we are good there. What do we got next? So now we got the shut off valves here, which all need to be set to open. So you just kind of click on these. With the track IR, I could look down and actually see it, but once they extinguish here, the tops will show as being open, which is what we want. ECUs should be on, which we've confirmed. And we need to go through the warnings here. The spoiler. Okay. Stall. Which, as you can see there, it's going to stall. Overspeed horn. Alright, so we got flap. Pause. Where are we at? I can't see all of these. Bleed air, fire. Yeah, so annotator basically shows, okay, where's everything at right there. these are all pretty much simulated. I have yet to run into an issue with any of these, so let's start the warning and caution. And where are we at? Animator looks good. So yeah, let's go ahead and we'll start firing up engine 1. So we will push. Why are these valves open? I did close these and now they are open. A bug that is known here. So we'll start left engine first. And what we'll do is I can bring this up so we can kind of watch it. What we're trying to do is wait for N2 to spool up to 20 before I introduce fuel, which is through the throttle lever here. So 20. So we'll let the N1 settle before we start firing up N2, the right engine. Alright, so everything is settling down. We have no issues coming up here. So let's fire off the next engine. '16, 17, got pressure moving up. 19, 20. Introduce the fuel, and bam. So we are set. Lights extinguished. Never mind. You know what I mean. Lights out. So left engine's settled down, looking good. Right engine is settling down, so we can close this out for now. So both engines are up. Ignition, post pump indicators are gone. Generator, which I made a mistake of not following through, but this is what happens when you don't stick to your checklist like you should. Bleed air, pressurization is good. So we're all set here for the first part. External power, we can now request for that to be removed, which we can uncheck here. And let's set up for our simulator, our trip. So I'm going to bring it up on a big screen so you can see here, but I need you to just work it down there. So position, we are in KRNO Reno. We shoot over to the flight plan. We are going to San Francisco, KSFO. And we'll make Oakland our alternate. And so we're set there. We can go to departures. We are departing out of Reno as what I had mentioned earlier. Let me bring up my charts because I got them already closed out. So we're going out on the P-Vine 3 to Cred. Bam. So 34 left, 34 right. We're going to go off on left because it is the longer runway. Bam. Execute. Now we're going to go over to Squaw Valley, which was SWR. SWR. Insert that in here. So what we're doing is we're shooting for Squaw Valley. We're going to set the 22,000 feet. What I'm going to do is wind up controlling the altitude. So we're wanting to cross Creds at or above 10,000 feet. So when we get ready to start rolling out, I will start getting those all set up there for the autopilot. So next page, we're going to be doing now the arrival. So arrival, we were looking at, bring up my route here, was the Risty 1, which is the next page. Risty 1, Tippery arrival, and we wanted to come in on ILS Q8 right. Bam. Which of course it's not going to give me because it's wanting to be that way. So let's go back here, arrival, next page, Risky 1, good enough. Bam. So now everything is in place. From Cred, we're going into I don't know why it's wanting us to drop down to 9,000 at this point. And where the hell's my Squaw Valley? Previous page, it took Squaw Valley out. Go figure. So SWR, gonna go up to here. This is slash 22,000. Next page. Wow, these are very low altitudes. So we know speed, we need to be at 9,000. I'm going to wind up hand flying, or not hand flying, controlling a lot of this as needed. So you run through the math, the formula for calculating when you need to start your descent. So we'll be at 22,000 feet, and we want to be, say, 12,000. So we're looking at 10,000, 10 times 3. We want to be 30 miles out, add 5. So 35 miles out from Tipperary. And assuming we'll be close to 400 knots at 2,000 feet per minute descent rate. So we're looking at 35 miles from Tipperary. After we hit Squaw Valley, and then we'll start our descent down. So this all looks good here. What I'm going to do now is pre-plan in my ILS 28 right approach, which we can go to. Instead of going through vectors, we're going to put in Archie, ARCHI. I'm going to put that in place of here, which I already know it's at 37. Because northeast, we're definitely not going to be in the east, we're right here. So I want to, where's my delete? Clear, delete. We don't need vectors. So Archie, I want to be at 8,000. After Archie, we're looking at, where was the Z-lid. So that's going to go here. Z-lid, not really staying. Then we're looking at GER, should be, actually Z-lid, we should be about 5. Hopefully this will not be a bad chop and drop on this here. So GER, D-I-R-R-R. We're looking at about 4,000 splash. Again, most likely I'm going to control this myself on the descent through here to C-pin, C-E-P-I-N. And C-pin, we want to be at 3,000 splash. 3,000, bam. And next is going to be ACML, A-X-M-U-L. And by this point, I should already be locked on my approach in, which should be slash 1,800. Alright, so we're looking good here. We'll hit the execute just to be on the safe side. Bring up our legs so we know what we got going on. Close this out. So next we want to set our altimeter, or our altitude. Bring back up our flight here out of Reno. Keep in mind, I'm sorry if I'm doing a more detail here. It's more just to give everybody else a idea of what to kind of expect here, who's may have never done this before and would like to get in something like this. So we're looking at 4920, so I'm going to set it for 5,000. That's the initial flight out to Cape Divine, and then up to 10,000. So I think what I'll do is I will set for 12,000 as my initial. My climb out will set for 18. Heading by the charts is at 344. So you will see here, oops, here my heading's at 344. My altitude that I have set initially is at 12,000, which you will not see the, this is based on what this is saying. It's wanting the 4920, which technically is, we're still on the ground. But anyways, and then let's set a speed. This just takes forever, so I have my mouse set on a free wheel spin. Just give it one good whack and let it roll. I'm going to set it for 220 for initial. Anything below 10,000, you have to stay under 250 knots. Anything over that, then it's at discretion of ATC or yourself based on performance of your aircraft. So we've got speeds here set. What else do we need to cover? So I think we're good here. I'm not going to hold altitude or anything once we're on the flight director. We do want to bring up the references. So we're looking at V1, 115, which is we're good up to prior to rejection. Rotates 123, 135 is airborne. We need to put this back to arm. Bring this down to 10. And we can come this up to regular battery. So we are looking good at this moment. So let's do our pushback. Right now we're showing the pro heats off, which are here. We got window heat, pro heats. We will turn them on once we get closer to, once we get up to the runway before takeoff. That's part of the takeoff checklist, which I'll jump up over here and we'll just confirm on our before taxi. Generator amperage looks good. Bleed air is normal. Temperature control where we want it at, so it's fine. Standby pilot gyros, which are these, so we're good. Engine anti-ice, we already have the no smoking cabin lines on, which are these. Seats, well, my seat's good. Galley power is on. Pressurization is auto, which is fine. We're not doing down, so auto is good. It's on. Bleed air normal high. Master test is checked and off. Stabilizer de-ice we do not need. Actually, I'm sorry, we do need that turned on. Stabilizer de-ice to auto. Wing ice is required. ECU should be on or normal. Rotor boost is checked normal, which I just looked at. We can look at it one more time. Boom. What do we got? Engine instruments are fine. Flight controls, set flap for takeoff, which we did. Altimeter set to the local airport, which I do need to get. So let me bring up my trusty weather. It's 2979. So let's set our barometer to 2979. If this is not set correctly, we do not report correctly. So 2979, trim I just verified, PCAST, everything else looks good. Bust that out. So we are set for the most part here, and then it's taxi out to the old runway. I'm going to turn on my track IR. Recenter this. All right, let's call for a pushback, which was what, shift? Crap, I totally forgot what pushback was. Let me, why is it telling me my altimeter is incorrect? Did it change again? Let me double check where we at. Conditions for Reno, KRNO. Current altimeter is 2995 now. Okay, see, it always helps to double check. So 2995. 95. Okay, so we are set there, and I totally forgot what pushback was. Prepar3d pushback. It was Shift P. That's right. God, how do I keep forgetting that? Okay. Unpause. So let's start pushback. Shift P. And we'll go to an outside view to watch. Actually, if I pause that, we can. So you can see I'm also using Ultimate Traffic Live, so basically anything that is going on right now at the airport is happening live. So when we bump out, we're going to drop down that way and head on over to 34 left. Alright, so I think... Oh, shit! I'm up. Did I have the parking brake on? I sure did. Alright, turn this back on. Okay, so we got track IR going. We're turning off that way. And let's get recognition lights on, wing, nav, and strobes can turn on after the fact. Come on. Oh shit, you know what I just realized? I didn't plug in my frickin' rudder pedals. Hang on one second. That would be helpful now, wouldn't it? So let's make sure that they are working. Okay. Alright, I was like, why is my plane not turning? Okay, here we go. Just keeping it real, that's all we're doing. Now, I've been finding some issues with the default scenery here that there's collisions that are happening even though I'm not around anything. And it's kind of irritating me a little bit. I'm trying to figure out what's causing the collisions. There you go. I'm still trying to get the track IR fully dialed in. But so far we are looking good. Make sure we're not going too fast on the taxi. We are on a full load of fuel. After a few days in the casinos and spending, we just figured we want some money and there. We wanted to make sure we top the aircraft off so we could drop off our peeps and then we can go home later. So while we got the taxi out here and I got a brief moment to finally chill for a second, how was everybody's weekend? Hopefully it was all good. I was up in Reno this weekend for the Rib Fest at the Nugget. That was awesome. My first time there and I can't believe I've never known about it prior. The food was just phenomenal. I was just loving it. Yeah, so we were there pretty much from like noon until like 7 o'clock at night. Got a lot of sun, got a little bit of a sunburn. No big deal. It was good. Did some gambling also, because you know it gets hot outside and you gotta cool down somewhere. So you go into the casino. Going a little fast here. So what are we looking at here? Yeah, so I wound up staying over at the Circus. It was probably the place that had some decent room rates out of all the places that were out at the time. And we stayed in their mini suite, which was remodeled since I've been there before. I usually stay like at the Peppermill myself. We got a bird, looks like right there, coming in. Let's see what he's gonna do. We got nabs on, so I'll put strobes on for right now, just so I'm marked. Alright, he's slowed down. We can go ahead and move on. Now, legit, you would not be on an active runway, which in this case, this runway would still be active with an aircraft on it, even though he's already slowed down and is looking to pull off. Yeah, so we stayed at the Circus. It was pretty awesome. Rooms were redone. I was not too pleased with the hotel check-in staff. Usually when I've stayed, I've always upgraded my room from a mini suite if I've had the extra funds, or I've received a free upgrade to it one way or another, to the VIP suite, which was a nice 2-room suite with a big old jacuzzi tub and everything. The mini suite's still a 2-room suite. It's just a little bigger. And the guy's like, well, we don't have rooms like that for you. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess my money's going to be getting dropped somewhere else. Sorry. So I'll have to have a little bit of a conversation with the staff there when I get my survey, because they will definitely be contacting me on it. Alright, so put this up actually, yeah, no, this should be on normal, duh. And stall warnings should be good. Windshields were fine. Alright, let's get rolling on out. I have collisions turned off just because I got tired of hitting blank anomalies out here. So it was just easier to do it this way. So any aircrafts that come barreling my direction, I don't have to worry about it. Now, winds were still coming up out of the north, and that is exactly how I'm going to play this. Which now it's showing winds are coming up from roughly the southwest. Oh well, too late. Spooling up the engines. They look good. Let take off power. Absolutely touchy right now. Alright, 80 knots. This is not good at all. I don't know.
Bank angle.
Okay, this is not legit in any way, shape, or form. So, positive rate of climb. Gear up. Vertical speed in. Lock in heading. I did bring the gear up, right? Yeah. Where the hell's my throttle? Where's my Holy shit, what the fuck is... Okay, B nav, autopilot, yaw dampener, and nav. There we go. Holy hell. Okay, that was probably by far one of the worst takeoffs I've done in a while. Slow this bird down.
2,500. 2,500.
I know we're at 2,500. Come on, bird. You should be... Alright, direct. Divine. Come on. How about we do direct reds? There we go. That should... And vertical nav, there we go. Yeah, see, this thing's, I mean, part of this was pilot error, a huge pilot error. So that takeoff was part of the don't let this happen to you crowd. Sorry, I'm just kind of grabbing something to drink here. So what we're gonna do, my vertical speed should be, there we go, get it. No, it's controlling right now with vertical nav, that's fine. We'll flip it over after we cross spreads. Yeah, so there you can see good old downtown Reno. Got Silver Legacy, Circus, El Dorado, looks like Harrah's. Over here you got Grand Sierra, right there's the Nugget. Down back off that way is Atlantis, and then right to the right of it, a little smaller, is the Pepper Mill. Alright, so I just kind of killed the track R for right now. We can free look. I'm really not that bad at taking off and flying and stuff, I swear. Alright, we can throttle this up some more. Let's get her up to 220. What do we have here for here? And I think double check that takeoff, cross it. Okay, and we need to go radar set. Not that. References, yeah, bang. Perfect. That works there. And so we are now heading towards Squaw Valley and shooting to cross, and we're over 10,000 feet, so we can continue to throttle up. So we're wanting to cross Squaw Valley at next on over. Previous. It's not shown up on here, but Squaw Valley is right here. Would be at 22,000 feet. So after we cross Squaw, I'm going to just lock the altitude at 22,000, and then we're just going to hold it because I don't want to start having me descend down toward, goddamn, it's got some turbulence going on here, that's for certain. That's not frame rates lagging or anything, that's... I do like that though. I mean, I like the active sky. It was between that and Rex has a problem with transitions on update, where active sky does not. Rex has some awesome cloud texture package. So does active sky. I just haven't picked up either one right now. So the textures that you see on clouds is what's in game. But we are definitely rocking and rolling in the wind department here. Let's see if we can get this bird a little faster. There we go. I'm just setting up my altitude to hold at once we get up where we need to be. So after takeoff, engines lift up. I forgot to do what I had to do. We can turn the landing light off at this point. Cockpit, cabin. We can turn the lights on in the back there for the peeps. And after this, we are on just the climb. Pressurization is checked to auto. Bleed air should be on norm. Oxygen, which is here, it's simulated. Recognition light, obviously. Well, recognition light can come off. Okay. Windshield heat needs to be on, which it is. And one reference display, it's up here, that is on. What do we got next? Icing as required, which negative 18. We'll want to monitor that. And the rest of it looks good. Okay. Smoothed out up here a little bit, which is good. Hang out here for a few minutes and enjoy ourselves. What we're going to do is I'm going to lock vertical speed at this moment. And maintain this climb up to 22,000 feet. Bam. And over here to our left, we have the beautiful Lake Tahoe. I will be getting the Orbix scenery here installed before too long. I do have to purchase it though. And that'll make everything look way, way, way better. Alright, so at 19,000 feet, we can reset our barometric pressure to 29902. Remember, 35 miles from a trip at a 2,000 vertical speed descent. That'll drop us right at trip at what we were looking for, which I totally forgot what it was. 9,000 feet, right? Alright, so 1,000 feet to altitude. Get out of the Reno stuff, bring up San Francisco, Risky One. So we are looking to be where's the specifying I need to be at for trip 9,300. Technically, as we get closer to trip, I can start dropping down because I'm supposed to be at Risky at 9. So once we hit trip, we can start the descent because we're only looking at, what is that, 35, well, 30 and 35. So from CD's at 9. Yeah, I could just start, as soon as I hit trip, start my descent down to 9,000. Slow her down just a little bit here. for speeding. Alright, so we're good. Let's set this down to 9. And kind of enjoy the scenery. Here, let's take a look outside. See what we got. So that right there, if I remember correctly, should be Folsom Lake. It's a beautiful aircraft, though. I mean, it's very well modeled. Get back into the aircraft here. At this point, we've got about, what, 7 minutes to trip. Yeah, so 13 minutes to, looks like Mob D. That'll put us in San Francisco in about 25 minutes, roughly. Hopefully on the ground in about 25 minutes. There's nothing in the checklist about turn on the backup radio. Still a little floored as to what the hell happened, as this aircraft here just kind of got away from me. Yeah, I know you can't adjust this in any way because it's on auto. Let's just make sure that our speeds are okay. So I think what I'll do is, because I'm going to control a lot of this, once I hit CDs at 9, back here. My freaking Acrobat just got all stupid on me. Oh, go away. Just close it. Piece of shit. There we go. Relaunch it. I think what I'll do is I'm gonna start just shooting all the way down for 8,000 and get myself set up for 5, so we're all ready to go for landing on 28 right in San Francisco. And as we get a little closer and I start clearing through 19,000, I'll figure out what the altimeter is in San Fran, and I'll just kind of set up for that. So 30 more miles of trip, then we start our descent. Really, I want to say we're not much further outside of Sacramento at this point. we'll try that and see if we can get a good thumbnail out of her. Alright, let's get back to it here and start paying attention what we got going on. 3 more minutes of the trip and then we'll start our descent. Things happen fast in these jets, that is for certain. So for the descent, we can start kind of looking at the descent checklist here, which I'm leaving all the stuff on as needed. I'll turn on recognition lights once we go get below 18,000 feet. Icing we're still okay with. Altimeter we will capture. Otherwise, yeah, ignition, engines take off, ignitions are on. Once gears are down, the lift dump comes on. Right before landing, we disengage auto and yaw dampener and touch down. Okay. Looks like got a little bit of a marine layer starting to build up out there. Yeah, so I played with multiple flight simulators, Flight Sim back in the day. Obviously this one, iFly, when that used to be a big thing. It never took off, unfortunately, but they really had something going for them. X-Plane, which I think did a pretty good job of where iFly left off. But when it was the battle of the flight simulators, it was Microsoft is where it was all at. And unfortunately, all the add-ons at the time didn't take off for X-Plane. Now it definitely seems like there's a lot of manufacturers, software developers out there that are making a lot of stuff for X-Plane. I would be myself looking at X-Plane a little more in depth, but my simulator that I'm building, the avionic package that it comes with is designed for prepared, so that's the route I have to go. I'm going to be trying to do a few things to get away with some of the interface boards and going with Arduino for the interface and trying to save some costs there. So I'll be working on those over the next few weeks and see what I can do. Hopefully it'll work out because Arduinos, are way cheaper than $400 for an interface board. I'm probably going to need 2 of them. And I'm like, I don't want to pay that. But it's not that big of a deal. So let's start our descent down. We should have this vertical speed. Bring her down to 2,000. Start throttling back. Should be looking good. 395 for the descent. Alright, I think we're looking good. Let's see if we can hold this. There we go, that's better. I'm gonna go back to track IR being on, so I can start looking around and making sure I've got everything going on at this point. Alright, so references, what are we looking at for the second part of references? 120, 130. Bearings, we're looking okay. Recognition lights on. I'll pull up active sky. Let's take a look at what do we KSFO. So current altimeter in San Francisco is at 2980. So that is right now what I'm going to set my barometer to, my altimeter. Downside is probably not going to match with where I'm at, and I might have pop-ups about barometric pressure warnings. We want to also turn these on, bring the sync off, and so far we are looking good. Speeds are holding okay. We'll just kind of watch it. Now we yell at our passengers, sit your ass down back there. Alright, so bring up my charts here. So at trip, we should be at altitude by the time we hit Mobdi. That'll set us up for 9,000 at CDs, which is where we need to be. And then we'll be able to recalculate from there for the dropping in on the 28 right for the ILS approach. I'm just watching the speed tape here to make sure I do not overspeed. While trying to hold roughly about 400 knots for the ground speed as well. Alright, so we hit trip. Owen we're coming up to. Actually, we've crossed trip, we're coming up to Owen right now. Let me take a look at 28 right ILS. I believe that was 111.7, which it is. Okay, 1117. So back to the chart. We can set the radio at least up for this right now. All right, perfect. Go back up to our legs, and that should be a heading of 282, right, or 284. Let me pull the chart back up. 284. Okay, it's important to have these things. There you go, 284. Descent still looking good. Got the marine layer building up out there in the distance, but should not be a factor for us. See the delta right up over there. Alright, let's go landing lights on. Better go with the overspeed ship. Gotta watch the speeds, right? Shit, we're coming up to 10,000, so I need to really throttle way back. I wasn't watching those speeds at all. My bad. Aircraft up right up in front of us. To our 12 o'clock. Right now. Perfect. So I want to keep it right around 250 as much as possible. Alright. So CD's at 9, and then after CD's we are looking at Archie, which is at 8. Archie from CD's looks like about 11-mile difference, so dropping about 1,000 feet from there. So I'm just going to start setting for 4,000 feet, because we got to cross Archie at 8, but keep the descent going all the way actually down to 3,000. So let's start that 3,000. And then we can adjust the vertical speeds as we're going down. But hopefully you guys are enjoying what you're watching here, despite the blunder for the start. And I do hope that the landing goes a lot more smoothly than what I've had so far. But anybody who's had to make this drive down into the old Bay Area will appreciate taking a good flight on in versus driving this crap. Traffic is just absolutely horrible. Alright, gotta get a little bit more to drink here. Miles of CDs, which we should be hitting right now. Making that turn towards Archie, so I'm going to start slowing her down a little more, get her down to about 220. Backlighting on the panels at this point is going to be good. I won't be as talkative at the moment as normal, just because I'm really focusing on what's going on here and going through the checklist as well. Set flaps 10. And check the weather one more time. So far still 9 or 9 or 8. Perfect. Oh shit, we got the marine layer really rolling in, don't we? setting up for 3,000. throttle back. By the time we hit C-pin, we need to be gears down and in landing position at that point. Which airport's right up off at our 12 o'clock at the moment. Right up here is was that the San Mateo Bridge? I'm drawing a blank which bridge it is, but there's a fixed called bridge. Go figure. And then once we hit right about here, then it's a straight run right into a 2-8 right. So I'm getting this plane set up for configuration right now. Oh, shit, what are you doing? Stay on FMS. Nav. I rolled it too soon. It's okay. We're still far enough out not to make any mistakes. Alright, just about at 3,000, so we can drop gear. Flap 20 for the moment. Start bleeding this speed down. Right, make sure we are on target for C-pin. C-pin 3000. That puts us, should be right below the glide slope at this point. Lights, everything looks good. We are set. Let's turn the lift dump on. We are 5 miles from C-pin. Let's go flaps down. Yes, I know. Fine. Shit. Aircraft is starting to sink badly. There's a lot that goes on that I can't have a hard time keeping track of on everything. Get her back up to at least Mach 25. There we go. Alright, so this shit just gets so buggy. Radar, nav. There it goes again, too fast. Let me see if I can lock the approach in for now. At least we got it picking up. There. Okay. Now we're on. She is not tracking for shit, right? Come on, buddy. Need to be rolling that direction. Off. Still tracking away. Shit. Now, this is not becoming a good flight. There's the runway. I can see it from here. I don't want to have to hand fly it in, though. But we are below the glide slope, which is good. Okay. Approach catches. There we go. Okay, now we got visual of the airfield. Oh, you're swinging me too far out here. .290 heading should be at 284. There's no way for me to adjust a course on this, which is... Oh, now it will let me. Jesus Christ. Fucking plane. There. Okay.
2,500.
Speed's holding okay, but we can slow her down some more. Give me a little bit of credit. I've been out of flight sim for almost 3 years now, because I swore it off when I started building my simulator. Alright, so we are tracking glide slope for the most part. Now we are working on setting up on the localizer, which we're chasing. Make sure we look good. All's good. All's good. Check, check, check. All's good. Yeah, okay. I think we're alright. We can turn the radar off. We're too low to the ground for that to even matter at this point. Bring up references again. So VREF 120. Wind's at 9, so 130 would be a safe. Now, normally you're already supposed to be well configured before you even get to this point. Prop planes are a lot easier than jets, so it's not like I've ever flown a real world jet before, so. Flip the light on in here so I can actually see what the hell's going on.
1,000.
Alright, we should be tracking pretty well, just slightly below the glide slope, but the PAPI system's saying we are good. The other downside to flight simulators, like, this is the middle of the aircraft, technically, my view, and not here. So if I'm flying, I'm usually thinking I need to be a little further to the right, and that's not the case with this, obviously.
500.
All right, we got speed spot on at this point.
$400.
slight gust of
300.
wind. Man, wind's at 15. Just.
Minimums.
200.
Minimums.
We're getting blown around. There we go. Turn them all off.
100.
Throttle back. Hold.
50.
Hold.
40.
Hold.
30. 20.
Shit, we're floating.
20. 10.
Ooh, that was a little on the hard side. Come on. Stay on the runway, please. $60 knots. We can kill that. I'm not worried about that because I've got my shit turned off. Haha, magically passed right through the power of voodoo. Nope. Damn it. No. I've never had to deal with a plane that was so fucking touchy. I should have cleaned this up after I got off, which is fine. Here, we'll roll right up over this way. I got jumping the gun and I should have waited until we got off the runway. This is all a part of what not to do. Let's just call it that. So we'll get clear. Here. Giving way to you, United. Let's go. Turn that off. These all look okay. Quick check, we can turn. There we go. Alright. Well, I guess United's giving way to me, so we'll take it. Now let's make sure we don't get lost on over to a signature, right? Frickin' rubber pedals are sliding out from under my feet. So we'll follow the truck right up there because that's where most of the GA parking is. All right, well, despite a little bit of a gust of some wind there, that really caught me off guard. Alright, yeah, it's not this one, it's the next one. See, with the Real World Premier, this display unit here, you can actually put up your charts and airport maps and stuff like that. Where this one here doesn't allow you to do that. Which is probably licensing reasons why you can't do that. Oh, I am going way too fast. Alright, turn. So signature would be right up over there. Alright, let's go look for some parking. Nope. Nope. I guess we can turn it actually in right here. Come on. Make our turn. We're not sitting on brakes or anything. I'm surprised they got planes coming in from that way because with a 15-mile-an-hour tailwind or 15 nautical mile tailwind, that's not good at all. Come on, we can roll a little bit more. Technically we're pulled in the wrong way, but who cares? Alright, so we're looking good. Where we go, park and brake on. Nope, park and brake on. And we can kill engine 1, let it despool. Alright, looking good. Engine 2. Master warning, we already know. So these are all off like they're supposed to be. They turn off because the engine's up, just pulled off. Turn that off. Everything's coming down, so we'll turn ECUs off. Ignition off. Stabilizer icing off. Anti-skid is off. Boom, boom. Bring pressurization down. Bleed air down. Yep, those are good. Check. Recognition wing, bang, bang. All of those off. And we got that. And let's do this. It was under the control windows. We can open up the baggage door, passenger door, and finish shutting down the aircraft. So everything's looking good. So we can turn this off, Avionics are coming off, generators are coming off, and battery is off. All right, aircraft is shut down and secure. So we can pause this. We'll go outside. See if we can zoom in a little more. Yeah, track that center line, not too bad. There you go. Who wants a ride? Fly Witch Doctor Aviation. We'll get you there. It just may not make you comfortable. Alright guys, so hopefully you kind of enjoyed what I've got went on here. And this was along the lines of don't do this at home. Yeah, so it's probably one of my worst flights I've ever had before I started learning to really get in the flight simulator and stop crashing into things. But you know, you take a break and you just gotta kind of relearn. So I will catch you guys Monday's live stream. Since I'm not working, it'll be a lot earlier, say probably about 5, maybe 6 o'clock at the latest, as long as I'm not at the gym during the evening. And we'll be kicking off some OCRP. I want to do my 24/7 job now that I'm able to do that, and we'll kind of go on from there and see what we can do. But otherwise, hey guys, thank you for hanging out with me, and really appreciate it. Thanks for watching all the videos, hanging out on Twitch, hanging out on Twitter, everything else, and hope to catch you next time, guys. Bye.